Hello, welcome to Cactus Core's top 5 favorite TV shows of all time. My name is Kevandre.
My name is Bobby.
And when I say our top 5, I mean we each have a top 5.
Right. Now, this is an idea that Kevandre came up with because some of you, after seeing our One Marvelous Scene videos, says, hey, you should do more videos like this because you suck at games. And we're like, fair point.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, we have done stuff like this before. Generally, we were just also playing like Smash Bros. Or something at the time. Like when we did our top 5 waifus of all time.
Right.
Favorite books we were doing when we were playing Rayman.
Right. But we kept getting kind of...
We get distracted by the game, which is fair enough.
Yeah.
And I figured I'd probably try to make this one kind of like the One Marvelous Scene video where I've got the scenes from the things we're talking about in the thing, so we might as well not even do the game part anyway. This is just kind of uncharted territory for us, much like the One Marvelous Scene video was. So,
right.
Figure the people who stuck around with us since then might enjoy this one. So, let's see.
Now, there's some ground rules that we had to set when going over our top 5.
Right.
Number 1, it's top 5 shows, as in the entirety of the television show.
Right. So, live action, anime, Western animation, whatever.
Right. It didn't necessarily have to air on television, so like Netflix shows are up for grab too.
Yeah. I don't really see a difference anyway.
Yeah,
I'm not Steven Spielberg.
Me either, but some people have problems, so I thought we should specify.
Yeah, that's Steven Spielberg.
Right. It had to be in order, so we had to actually pick a top 1 and a top and a second place and so on.
Right.
We also have an honorable mention list.
Now, my honorable mentions list is pretty small. His honorable mentions list is enormous.
15. I got 15 honorable mentions.
Also, unlike the One Marvelous Scene video, this is unscripted.
Right. Very, very off the cuff.
So
which is how we usually do our videos.
Exactly. It's just back and forth, because we're usually doing Let's Plays shit anyway, so...
Yeah.
We don't have anything written down aside from our lists, neither of which we've seen each other's lists.
Right. We kept them completely separate. The only thing that we've talked about is we took bets on how many of my top 5 were on his top 5.
Right.
So that's all we got.
Yeah.
So we're going to start at number 5 for each of us and then work our way up to our number 1.
Sure. Why don't you go first?
Alright, so my number 5, and he made sure to say include some of my guilty pleasures on there. If they are in the top 5, don't be shy, don't hold back.
Yeah.
The people want.
Completely.
So, unabashedly, my number 5 is Powerpuff Girls.
A fine choice. The OG Powerpuff Girls?
Yeah.
Yeah, I loved that show as a kid.
Yeah. I remember watching it a lot, and I got kind of away with it because my parents are a bit more traditional. They wanted me to be outside and kind of sporty.
Fuck that.
But my dad also loved anime. So he was like, yeah, he comes home, and there's a little bit of Powerpuff Girls and then 2 mommies, so just fuck it, watch whatever.
Right.
Because anime was awesome, and my dad was great. My parents are a lot more accepting, but you still have to have that edge to where, you don't want your kid getting beat up in school for liking Powerpuff Girls too much.
They're accepting, but they're Tennessee accepting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But they're very accepting for Tennessee, don't get me wrong.
About as progressive as you can get in Tennessee.
Yeah, my parents are fucking awesome. But I absolutely loved it. I loved all the characters. I loved the voices for all the characters. Mojo Jojo, Fuzzy Lumpkins, and...
Yeah. I loved him. That's such a strange character for a children's show.
Yeah. I really love the Powerpuff Girls. And even now, if it comes on and it's one of the older versions, because they did kind of like the newer remake.
I don't know that I mind the new ones. I haven't really watched it. But...
The art style bugs me in the new ones.
Yeah, I guess.
And art counts a lot for me.
Sure.
So it's hard for me to watch the new ones. But the old ones are just fucking perfect.
Right. Yeah, I tried not to talk about how much I enjoyed it as a kid.
Rude Motorcycle Man out there.
Rude Motorcycle Man. Whatever. Just because, it's not cool when you're a boy in, 5th grade or whatever to like such a girly show, right?
Because it was very late 90s, early 2000s?
Right, I want to say something like that, yeah. But I enjoyed it. Me and my neighbor, we watched that a lot. It was good stuff. Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed the Powerpuff Girls. I haven't really revisited it lately, but Buttercup for life. Buck Blossom, she's the worst. And Bubbles is good too.
Yeah.
Do you disagree?
I have differing opinions.
I'm surprised.
Bellum.
Okay, I'm not really talking about the peripheral characters.
Bellum.
Who's your favorite Powerpuff Girl?
Bellum.
I'd even accept Princess as an answer here.
Yeah, and I'm choosing Bellum.
She's not a Powerpuff Girl.
Okay. Still choose Bellum.
Okay.
Look, you're making this more awkward than it should be when you should be telling us your number 5.
All right.
Fine.
My number 5 is Parks and Recreation.
Oh, that's a good one.
Now, I've never been a fan of The Office. I think The Office is boring and whatever. Maybe I just didn't give it enough of a chance. I'm not really sure.
I really like the best of clips.
Sure.
But it's hard for me to sit through a whole episode.
Right. And thus, I kind of had tarred Parks and Rec with the same brush as The Office because I thought that they were basically the same. Okay. I was wrong. You'd be forgiven to think that it was the same if you just watched like the first 2 seasons of Parks and Rec. Once Rob Lowe and Adam Scott show up, though, that show really gets so good, and it stays consistently good until it ends.
Yeah.
My ex-wife was watching it, and I'm just like, I guess I'll watch this with you, and I did, and I'm like, holy shit, this is amazing. And then after Bobby came here, I made him watch it too, and he was hesitant about it too.
Because I had watched several episodes of the first season, and I did not like it.
Right.
And then he made me, alright, so this is the episode right before Adam Scott shows up, we're going to start there.
Right.
So I had a little bit of background I could catch up, and then Adam Scott showed up, and it was so much better.
Yeah, they really balanced out the show, and they found their right kind of crew for it. And it's one of the fucking funniest goddamn shows I've ever seen.
Oh, yeah?
It's so good. I love Parks and Rec. I revisited it. I've rewatched it several times.
Yeah.
I highly recommend it. It's a good time just to have in the background or just to watch straight up. I can't watch a whole hell of a lot of shows just on their own. I usually need to be doing something else at the same time. That one I can do just watching it straight up without playing a game or something.
Which is very unusual for him.
Yeah.
Like, he can't even just read a book,
Right.
despite how awesome books are.
I have to play a video game and listen to an audiobook at the same time.
Super
Unless it's specifically a brand new audiobook that I've been looking forward to a lot, then I can just sit there and do it. But anyway.
The rest of the cast of Parks and Rec is really good too. Like, I fell in love with Aubrey Plaza after watching
She's great. Chris Pratt also. They've got an amazing chemistry.
Yes, they do.
I never thought I'd like Amy Poehler, but I am that character in a lot of ways.
Yes, you are.
I also am, in a lot of ways, Ron Swanson. I'm just a weird mix of those two.
Yeah.
And all of the casting is spot fucking on for that show, right? I can't think of anyone else that I would cast in any of those shows.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I don't know what else to say. If you haven't seen it, watch it. You'll be surprised.
If you skip the first season, that's fine.
That's fine. You're going to miss a couple of things, but whatever. You'll pick up context clues.
Yeah. Alright, so on to number 4. Alright, so my number 4 shouldn't really come as a surprise, except it might come as a surprise that it's down low. Doctor Who.
Okay.
Right? I have been a Whovian for a while. I'm not old enough to say that I was there for the original run of it, but I remember as the lad hearing it coming back, seeing all the people lose their fucking minds, and Christopher Eccleston, who I had seen before in other stuff, pop up. So I sat down and I started watching the Revive series. I was there for the Revive series premiere in the USA. And I saw that first episode, and I'm like, I need more of this. It was great. I instantly loved it. And I think it's really only gotten better. I don't like half of the episodes with the latest one, Jodie Whittaker. And Peter Capaldi wasn't my favorite. Because I think I just don't like Peter Capaldi. But I like Jodie Whittaker as the Doctor. I just didn't like her episodes.
Okay.
So I have all these opinions, and then I went back and watched as much of the original series as I could, because some episodes are lost, unfortunately. But yeah, I love the whole thing. If I had to pick between Revived and the original run, I'm picking the Revived.
Right.
Because Matt Smith and David Tennant, I ship them together.
Strange.
Yeah.
They're okay.
Yeah.
Matt Smith is better.
I think so. A lot of people would say we're wrong, and I'm okay with them too.
I think it's just because David Tennant is a more attractive man that I think a lot of people like him better.
Maybe.
Matt Smith is just so much more personable in that show. When you would think David Tennant's great at being personable.
And he is.
And
I
he
just
is.
think Matt Smith is better.
Sure.
Yeah.
I also like Amy.
Yes.
So that's a big factor, though Martha's good.
Yes. Bad wolf. But that's okay.
I find her a little annoying.
Doctor Who is one of those shows that a lot of people can have like shipping wars against and who's the best Doctor. But I'm of the opinion it doesn't matter who you think the best Doctor is, so long as you have an opinion on who the best Doctor is.
Who's the best old Doctor?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Because I can only name like one of them. So I've got a default answer.
I actually don't have a default answer on that.
Yeah.
Because that's surprisingly not a question I've been asked. I'd have to think on that one.
Okay.
That'd be a tough
Most
one.
people just say Tom Baker, right?
I mean,
That's his name, right?
Yeah, I think that's right. It's probably him. Let's be real here. But maybe not.
Yeah. I've never been into Doctor Who.
Yeah.
I've tried it many times. I watched it at my friend's house. Bobby put together like a series of episodes for us to watch and filled in the context between them.
Yeah, I did like a best of. I made him watch the equivalent of one season.
Right. And it was fine. Like, I had moments that I enjoyed from that, and I had a lot of stuff that I didn't really care about also.
For me, Doctor Who was a whole journey. I've loved it ever since the Revive series came out many years ago. And I anxiously await every single season, and I am there watching the new episode as soon as I could.
How long are those seasons?
They're hour-long episodes, so 13 episodes.
See, that's so strange
Maybe
for British television,
maybe
right?
a little less, yeah.
Because it's just like, oh yeah, here's Sherlock, 3 episodes a season, then you wait 6 years in between.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
The difference is that I think Doctor Who is good.
Sherlock had
Yeah, it's called the first season. All of 3 good episodes.
the second season.
It's like jumping the shark in the second season.
Well, jumping the building, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, spoiler.
For 6 years ago.
Yeah. Anyways, what's your number?
My number 4 is going to be Veronica Mars.
Nice. I should have seen that one coming.
You should have seen it coming.
I hate that song.
I know you do. It's a weird one, right? Like, it's kind of like a teeny bopper show, but it mixes with like...
See, now, I always hear Teeny Bopper, and I instantly think of an inappropriate website.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's fine.
It was a good website.
Is Kristen Bell on there?
You know, I don't know, but I'm gonna go look after this.
All right. Anyway, it's kind of like a teenage kind of CW show, right? But it's, you know, about like a detective, and you know, she used to be in with the popular kids, and then one day everything changed, and then
The Fire Nation attack.
The Fire Nation attacked, and her best friend got murdered. It's a really good show with a lot of really good backstory that they kind of filter in throughout the season, and then the next season is just like this whole other big case intermixed with little cases in there, and it's really good. I like the characters so much. I like the theme song. I like the shipping. The cases are pretty good too. I like them. They do a great job of doing emotional stuff. The 3rd season's not as good. I feel like I've always kind of compared Veronica Mars to Buffy, in that I think...
That's a good comparison.
Exactly. It's kind of got that same feeling to it, right?
Yeah.
In both shows, once they leave high school, it gets a lot less good.
If you watch Veronica Mars for only one reason, if there's one thing I can convince you to watch it if you haven't, do it for Veronica's dad.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah, he's one of the funniest people on the planet.
What's his name? Enrico Colantini?
Something like
He's
that.
from Just Shoot Me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's hilarious.
Yeah, he's great on that.
That show convinced me how funny.
Him and Kristen Bell have a great chemistry too, for father and daughter kind of thing. Yeah, it's a great show. The 3rd season's not as good. It's still worth watching. I didn't make Bobby watch it when we watched through it. We just skipped straight to the movie that came out from Kickstarter that at the time was the highest Kickstarted thing ever, and then that's been usurped since then. But the movie was alright, and then the books that follow the movie are pretty good, and then we got a new season coming out this July, so I'm pretty excited about that.
Nice. But yeah, Veronica Mars.
Yeah.
Good one.
It's a good one.
Surprised I didn't think of that. Anyways, my number 3 is a show that I'm probably going to get judged for. I don't care. I love Justified.
Okay.
I fucking love Timothy Oliphant in that show.
I haven't watched it.
I know you haven't, and it's a shame, because it's a great show.
Would I like it?
You know, I don't know. Probably not.
Okay.
But that's because you hate things.
Yeah, but now I like him because Sam Kerr did that.
Give it a watch.
Okay.
The Realtor versus Realtor thing comes up. And I've been meaning to tweet at him and ask him, like, hey, did you steal this from Justified for this? Did you make sure this got in? Because, come on now. Let's be real.
It could be.
Yeah. There's a lot of people that have gone on to do other things that I first saw in Justified that was amazing. The first big boss in God of War. That I said, I know that guy. He's from Justified. That's where I recognized him from.
Oh!
Yeah.
Right. Okay, I remember.
Yeah. So there's a lot of things in there. I really like the first few seasons.
He's talking about the new God of War, on the PS4.
Right. Who was the guy that you first played? You're more familiar with...
It was Baldur.
Baldur, that's right.
Yeah.
The dude who played Baldur. He's in Justified. That's what I first saw him from. And testament to that game, because I recognized him from that facial
They did a great job with that.
Yeah. So I unabashedly love that.
Yeah.
It's set in the South. It's set in Kentucky.
Nobody's perfect.
Yeah. Timothy Oliphant, who does not like Kentucky, by the way. So it's a good dynamic for this show. Plays Raylan Givens, who is a U.S. Marshal. And he's tasked with a whole bunch of stuff. But pretty much he got out of Kentucky because of all the horrible shit there. You know, his awful fucking parents, stuff like that. He was in Florida, and then he got in trouble in Florida because the first episode opens with him killing a guy. Yeah, in a great fashion, by the way. So there's drama behind that. That comes back and plays in the later season. But he gets enough shipping back to Kentucky, so that way they just don't have to arrest him. It's like, look, what you did, you took down the damn guy. It's what you wanted, but you went about it the super wrong way, so get the fuck out.
Right.
It works. He goes back to Kentucky, he meets all of his old friends, his old flings, all of his old enemies, people that he, when he was going to college, he dug coal with, and all his relationships build back up, and he's now having to, kind of face some of them and deal with their bullshit because he's the U.S. Marshal.
Right.
And they're all horrible people.
Right.
Now, I've been to Kentucky.
Can confirm.
Can confirm. Most people there are horrible people. I fucking hate Kentucky.
Yeah.
So
who doesn't nowadays?
It's very accurate.
Sorry if you're new to the channel and you didn't know that Kentucky is bad.
Yeah.
And if you're from Kentucky.
Yeah. But I can watch that show over and over and over again. There are some characters I'm like, wow, that's an awful character. Could you not do that accent ever again in your entire life?
Yeah.
I still love the show. Yeah. Most people, if you watch it, you're not going to like it. I completely understand. I love it. It's one of my favorites.
Fun fact, when I was a kid, I thought Kentucky and Connecticut were the same place.
Fun fact, when you were a kid, you were kind of dumb.
Yeah. Anyway.
I'm just kidding. We're all dumb as kids.
Yeah. My number 3 is a Netflix show called Sense8.
I knew that one was going to be on there.
If you haven't seen it, you've probably at least seen the fan outrage that happened after it was canceled.
It was pretty big.
It was OP for a show that most people I knew never saw. But it's such a unique show, and it's so good that I've been trying to get as many people as I can to watch it, even though we're not going to get any more of it ever.
Yeah.
But it's created by the Wachowskis, right? And you've got these 8 different people, one in England, one in Africa, there's a couple in America, whatever. It's a bunch of different people. One's a DJ, one's like a computer hacker who's also transsexual. And there's all these different plot points from each of them because they all have their own stories, but they all cross into each other's stories. And all 8 of them, all of a sudden, just have like a psychic connection to each other. They've never met each other before.
All of different parts of the world.
All different parts of the world, nothing in common aside from their birthday, which is August 8th, 8/8. Anyway, I'm assuming 1988. They never specified.
But obviously.
I have to assume that. And it's real good. Like, they can kind of just take over each other's bodies, like, say, one person's in trouble and he needs to act his way out of the situation. The actor guy from Mexico will take over and he can kind of just roll with everything and improv through the conversation to get out of it. Or, this other guy's in trouble with some drug people or something, and the Korean lady who knows martial arts will take over and just take out the entire warehouse. It's phenomenal. There's 2 seasons, as well as a final episode that we got because we bitched so much about them canceling it without resolution. And the final episode's like an hour and a half, and it ties up everything. And it's so good. Like, everything in that show I love. I've watched it like 4 or 5 times.
And there's nudity in it.
There's a lot. There's a lot of orgies with them that I call clusterfucks.
it makes sense when you've seen the show.
Yes.
That's funny. Come back after you've watched it.
The first episode is pretty weird. So if you tried it and you watched the first episode and you're like, I don't care for this, I get it. I'd say stick with it for another few episodes, and then you'll truly get a feel if you want to stick with it. It's a really good show, though. I highly, highly recommend it.
Yeah.
Some of the best action and editing in any TV show I've ever seen.
It's really good.
Anyway, I probably talked about that way too long.
My number 2 spot, and this might be surprising, but it's only number 2, and it's the one that I'm willing to bet is on your list. Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Ah.
Yeah, that's right. Avatar: The Last Airbender, in my opinion, is probably the pinnacle of shows.
Right.
Pinnacle of cartoons, pinnacle anime. Some people say it's not anime because, it wasn't made for... You can go fuck yourself on that one.
Right.
It's the perfect melding of both. It tells an amazing story about Aang, who is the Avatar. He can control the 4 elements. Why am I explaining this? You all obviously already know the show.
Everyone knows it.
Yeah. So, in the universe, you have different benders. Some people can control earth, some people fire, some people water, some people air. Air Nation got wiped out. Aang's the last airbender who also happens to be the Avatar, which is fantastic. He gets trapped on an iceberg, wakes up 100 years later, and he goes, I ain't having this shit. And then he fixes it.
Yeah.
Kind of. Now, when we said that we had to take the entirety of the show,
Right.
I'm putting it as just Avatar: The Last Airbender and then Legend of Korra, the sequel series. I'm counting as separate.
That's separate.
If you wanted to nitpick it, if you wanted to say, no, that all counts as one, it's all part of The Last Airbender show, I'd be like, okay, it's still number 2.
Sure.
I really liked Korra. I didn't like it as much as Avatar: The Last Airbender, the main first series with Aang. But I think Korra had some more extremely dynamic moments. I don't think they were quite as big as Evandre is going to say they were. He'll say, like, the whole episode was better. And I'm like, no, just like this 2-minute bit of that episode had a high that was better than anything in Last Airbender. But that's my opinion. Either way, they're both fucking great. They are chamazeballs. Do not watch the Shyamalan movie.
No, don't watch that.
It's awful.
That's the first Avatar-related thing I saw, was the Shyamalan movie.
Poor soul.
I watched the riff tracks, but I didn't know anything about Avatar
Oh.
at the time. Anyway, my number 2 is also Avatar: The Last Airbender.
What a coincidence.
I know. So, let's just keep talking about that.
Yeah.
I didn't watch that as a kid at all. I was
there for the premiere.
Right.
So I remember seeing that. And I caught most of the first season in order. But then my schedule changed with school and some of the side projects I had going on. And I wasn't able to get caught up until after the series was over with the other seasons.
Right.
So I was there.
Yeah, fair enough. I was kind of against the whole anime kind of scene back then. And then I saw, it's a Western studio making anime-styled stuff. That sounds stupid, so I avoided the shit out of it as a kid. Then, when I'm an adult and we moved out and we got Netflix and stuff, my ex-wife was kind of watching it. Same with Parks and Rec, I guess. She was watching it, and I'm like, fine, it's on, I'll watch it. Yeah, and then I fell in love with it. It's one of those shows that I think that some people say, you only have nostalgia for this, it's not that great. They're liars. I didn't have nostalgia for it. It was amazing. Everything about it is real good. Okay, maybe not everything. There's like 4 episodes that I skip every time, and I don't think I miss out on it.
That's fair, but
Yeah.
I find it odd that we have a different set of episodes that we would skip on, except for the Swamp. We both skip the Swamp.
Yeah, the Swamp. I also skipped Jet and the Great Divide, which are right next to each other, which is convenient. And then I also skipped the Tunnel of the Two Lovers. I think it's a little obnoxious.
Okay.
Yeah, but for the most part, everything else is just stellar.
Yeah, it's a fantastic, and the ending is just perfect. They nailed it.
Right.
So I love that show so much.
And I also love Korra. I think that Korra has a lot of really, really high highs, especially in seasons 3 and 4. I think the first 2 drag on... Well, no, the first one goes too fast. The first season, they clearly had a limited amount of time to get everything done, so they just kind of threw it all together and made a resolution that didn't quite work.
And I don't think the animation was as good, and the voice acting certainly wasn't as good in the first season. Like, they were working on a much lower budget.
And then season 2 comes around, and it's been confirmed that, oh, hey, we've got 3 more seasons coming. Let's slow this down. They slowed it down too much. Season 2 was boring.
Yeah, okay.
Season 3 and 4, though?
They found their footing on
amazing villains. The voice actors know what they're doing at that point for those characters.
Right. Unlike us.
And they're just it's really good. I think season 3, particularly spoiler alert, the episode where the villains killed the Earth Queen. I think that is a better episode than anything in The Last Airbender.
I think that exact moment when they kill the Earth Queen is right on par with the final battle in Last Airbender.
Which final battle do you prefer in Last Airbender?
What you mean?
Zuko versus Azula or Aang versus Ozai?
Aang versus Ozai.
Really?
Zuko versus Azula, though, is
damn good.
Is right there underneath it. like their butts are touching. It's right there.
See, I like that one a little more because I feel like there's a lot more payoff to it. Ozai is the big bad guy, right? But he's always kind of distant. Azula's right on top of them through seasons 2 and 3, and so I feel like it's so much nicer.
I like the Ozai battle because it completes Aang's arc.
Right.
Him controlling the Avatar state, overcoming his conflict, it seals him up as a character.
Right.
So I found that to be just like the perfect end for him.
Yeah. And both shows have excellent kind of wrap-up episodes, or clip show type episodes, right?
Yeah, the review episodes.
Yeah.
But what have happened so far? Well, it's the Ember Island players.
Yeah.
And the best quotes are in that episode.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
And Legend of Korra's got some good shit, too,
yeah.
where all the villains are calling each other on the phone.
Yes.
It's fucking ridiculous. Anyway, I really like both of those.
You've probably heard enough about it now.
Right. And I was very stoked that Korra and Asami got together. I shipped it in season 3, and then
he did. We were watching it together as it was releasing, and he called that shit. And I'm like, no fucking way.
And then it fucking happened. I was so excited. Anyway, yeah, let's do our number ones, and then we'll go into an endless ocean of
my number one of all time. My absolute favorite show.
I think I know
the pinnacle. Oh yeah. Okay. What do you think it is?
Ghost in the Shell?
Yes, it is.
Uh-huh.
Ghost in the Shell standalone complex. And I'm even willing to count the second gig in with it, because it was like an extension. The Ghost in the Shell universe is a bit weird, because you got the manga, which is set in a very similar setting, but then you also got the movie, which
with Scarlett Johansson, excellent movie.
No, hold on, no, stop that. You got the animated movie, which has a different feel to it. It's not quite the same, even though it's made by the same creator. Then you got Standalone Complex, which I think is the pinnacle of anime. Right now, you're not really going to beat it. For a while, at least. And I fucking love it. Holy shit, did I devour that show. I got the art books and everything. Love that show. But then you also got other stuff that he's done. Like, he did another version that's more like a short series with longer episodes, where there's only like 6 of them. And that thing's fucking awful. I hate that shit. No thank you. Mm-hmm. Yeah, give me back the good major. So, Ghost in the Shell refers to your spirit and all that stuff inside of a machine. And machines developing sort of their own unique consciousness that wasn't really programmed into them. It gets into this whole, like, neuromancer sci-fi kind of shit. It's fantastic. It centers around a group called Section 9. They're in Japan, and they are a task force that's tasked with dealing with very unique crimes. A lot of them are cybercrimes and terrorist threats and things like that. Now, this is in the future where you can do, like, cybernetic implants. You can have your brain put inside of a brain case and put inside an entire cyber body. Most people have some cybernetic implants that allow them to, like, hook up to the internet with something similar to USB that just comes out of their neck. It's really cool. It gets really deep into things like politics, so I understand why a lot of people wouldn't like it if you're just looking like a more fun action shoot-up kind of anime. That's not it. It has those bits.
Yeah.
It's amazing at those bits, but it has a lot more into it. I can just watch that show all the time. It's one of the few anime that I went out of the way and downloaded. I watched it subbed, I watched it dubbed. They're amazing in both. I love the animation. It has a few filler episodes with the Tachikomas that at first I didn't like, and then I grew to really like them, because there is stuff that happens in them that echoes sort of throughout the thing, and the Tachikoma lifeline, their whole story arc, has a thing of its own that is very relevant to Ghost in the Shell. It's sort of what it's kind of about. So it's this neat little mirror of how the humans are mostly dealing with it, and how the Tachikomas, which are AI, dealing with it.
Right.
So it's awesome. Give it a watch. Give it a chance. Give it a little bit of love. I promise it pays off at the end.
I tried. I really did. I thought that most of it was boring, and then I found the Tachikomas irritating.
I just don't understand.
I'm wrong. I'm willing to admit that I'm wrong. And maybe I need to try it with you, and maybe that'll be better.
Maybe. Don't watch the live-action movie.
Yeah.
Turns out Scarlett Johansson can't act that character. It's awful. Some of the changes they made, I also have many problems with. Some of the cuts they made, I have problems with. Some scenes they reenacted like shot for shot, and I'm like, wow, that's pretty cool. But you didn't do the right build-up to it, so now it's fucking worthless.
Right.
But Scarlett Johansson plays a plank of wood in that movie, and it's very disappointing. Because I know she can do better. And she just didn't.
She just needs to be cast in that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I probably need to try it again. I don't know. I tried it before and I was like, I don't care about any of this. But that's my fault. So, whatever. Anyway, what's my number one?
Breaking Bad.
Yeah, that's right. So, I've got the number one that probably most people would have as their number one.
That or The Wire.
Either one. I don't know The Wire, but Breaking Bad is just... You don't need me to tell you about it. It's about a guy who has cancer, then he wants to leave money for his family if he dies, so he starts making meth because he's just a school teacher and it doesn't, have enough stuff. So he teams up with this student that he used to teach, and they make meth together, they sell it, make a lot of money, shenanigans ensue.
He becomes absorbed in the world of meth.
He does, and it's so good. Like, the evolution of Walter White from that first episode to the final one is incredible. Like, I can't even believe how good it is. And I've watched it like 5 times. The 5th time I forced my parents to watch it. And it's not usually their kind of show, but they ended up enjoying it too. I'm not sure if they would have stuck with it if I hadn't been there binging it with them every weekend.
Okay.
But man, they were feeling it because when it was spoiler alert, when it was revealed that Walter was the one who had poisoned Brock, my mom got pissed. She looked at me all like with the angry eyes, and I was like, "Look, man, what do you want me to say?"
Yeah, Bryan Cranston deserves all the awards for that show.
Kills it, and Aaron Paul also.
Yeah, he was amazing.
I can't imagine the original idea for that show when they were going to kill him off in the first season. That sounds horrible.
It does sound horrible.
But everybody in that show, like even Skylar, right? Everyone hates Skylar, whatever.
I fucking hate Skylar.
But Anna Gunn made you hate her, right? She was incredible in that role.
Yeah, she's a great actress.
Yeah.
I fucking hate that character. Yeah. It is hard for me to rewatch that show because of how much I hate that character.
Right.
Walt Jr. can go fuck himself too.
Yeah. Also true.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I have opinions.
Giancarlo Esposito, incredible villain in that show as well.
Yes.
But yeah, what can I say? And since we brought this up with Avatar: The Last Airbender and Legend of Korra, I got to bring up Better Call Saul as well. Now, this is an ongoing prequel show about Saul Goodman, the lawyer.
Okay. Good point. Good point.
And it's also very good. I need to get caught up on it. I haven't watched the last season. There are a lot of parts of it that I think drag on a lot, even compared to like Breaking Bad, because Breaking Bad does this thing where like it says a lot with a little, and Better Call Saul does that too. I don't think it does it quite as well.
But it has nothing to do.
Well, had
spoilers.
Yeah, spoilers. Sorry. But Bob Odenkirk is great in Saul Goodman's role, especially in Better Call Saul.
Yeah.
And Rhea Seehorn, who plays his kind of love interest in that show, she's great too. Everybody's fucking fantastic. That show is amazing. I think that Vince is a little less involved with that one than he was with Breaking Bad, and I think that it kind of shows.
Okay, that's fair.
But that's not exactly a bad thing, and maybe, for all I know, Better Call Saul is better now. Though, at the same time, you don't hear about it as much. Like, I feel like Breaking Bad you heard about constantly. There's a reason I avoided it for so long, because I got sick of hearing about it.
I didn't hear about Breaking Bad till you told me about it when you were getting hyped for the last season.
Right.
I hadn't heard a damn thing about it until
Which is weird. Like, I couldn't avoid people talking about it and referencing it.
Yeah, if you say so.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I just lived on the internet more than you did.
Yeah, that's true. Even today.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, it's true even today.
Oh, okay. But yeah, you've seen Breaking Bad. Everyone loves Breaking Bad. It's amazing.
It is a really good show.
So,
definitely worth watching.
if you haven't seen it, and I've definitely spoiled a lot of things for you here, if you haven't, go watch it.
Yeah.
Anyway, it doesn't matter. Go watch it.
But what do you guys think? Tell us your top 5. But you have to follow the same rules. Whole thing in order. None of this, we'll take your season 2 shit. No.
Right.
Whole thing in
if
order.
we were doing specific seasons, this would be a different list.
Yeah, very different list.
Dexter season 4, not
Yeah.
Dexter's Lab, Dexter season 4 would be in my top
Yeah,
one,
that
probably.
Trinity killer, dude.
It's a
Oh,
perfect,
so good.
perfect season of television.
So good.
So I guess that's an honorable mention, which is a good segue.
Okay.
Why don't you start with your fucking ocean of them?
Okay, so I have a whole bunch of honorable mentions because I love TV. These are in no particular order, by the way. It's not like number 6 through whatever. So, just going down the list, Cowboy Bebop,
A
which
fun choice.
was an amazing anime. It almost made the list.
I knew he'd bring it up, so I didn't even put it in my honorable mentions.
I did a rewatch recently, and it just didn't quite make the top 5. But it's pretty close. Dragon Ball Z was the first big anime that I really got into, which was awesome, and I watched it all the way into high school, was when it wrapped up with the final Dragon Ball Z. And then they did that Dragon Ball GT shit nobody cared.
Favorite saga?
Cell Saga.
Yep. It's the correct answer.
Breaking Bad, obviously. Firefly, which I really love. Browncoats for life. But it didn't quite make it, mostly because the movie tied it all together, and I felt that's what made it solidify itself as a greatness, but we're talking about just the series. I'm not doing tie-in movies. So,
Yeah, I think that Firefly is the kind of show that you remember better than it is when you watch it.
that first episode is rough for me to get through every time, because
Right.
it's a much longer episode.
Right. I think it drags a lot in the series. And it's a good series, and there's a lot of really good episodes, but I think that for every good episode, there's one that's just kind of boring.
I think it just drags in the first episode, and the rest I really
I
like.
hate that whorehouse one.
I'm fine with that. But that's me.
I think it sucks.
I know a lot of people hate that one, and that's fine. Out of Gas is my favorite.
That's a good one, too.
South Park. I've been a huge fan of South Park ever since I was allowed to watch it. I wasn't when I was little. But, yeah, at one point, I think when they were season 14 or so, you could quote South Park, and I could tell you which episode it was from. And we did obscure quotes. That was something me and some of the warehouse guys did back when I was repairing computers. We would just quote shit and be like, what episode is that from? And we'd figure it out. And I got really good at that with South Park. Some of the newer seasons I haven't seen as much. I still like them, though. They've changed up the format. I think they're doing it okay. As long as the episode doesn't have a crying baby in it, I'm pretty much fine.
The only bad season was the one with Britney Spears.
Yeah,
That
fuck
was
that
was a
episode.
bad season.
I do not like that episode, and I do not like the Jack Officers.
That too.
Yeah. Futurama, of course, it's fantastic.
A classic.
Right? Eureka, which was a sci-fi show that I absolutely fell in love with.
Okay.
I really like that
I
show.
remember that.
I like seeing actors from that pop up everywhere else. It's great. Stargate, but not SG-1. So Atlantis. I also really like Stargate Universe. Either one there.
Okay.
They're all part of like the same big universe thing. So, yeah, but I thought SG-1 got fucking dumb. Black Mirror. I love Black Mirror. It's so good. But I need more episodes. House MD. which I really loved. I loved all the way to the end, even when it started jumping the shark and got stupid. Don't give a shit. Wilson for life, bitch.
Every episode's the same.
Nope, fuck you. So, Steins Gate is one of my favorite anime. I need to watch the new version. I got the game on my list to play. It may end up creeping into the top 5 eventually. I really love it. It's a time travel anime. It's awesome. Just go watch it. Fate Stay Zero, which is interesting because the whole Fate Stay thing is sort of like based off of like visual novels and stuff like that. It gets complicated on how they came about. But Fate Stay Zero is a very specific one because you've got like Fate Stay Night and then Olympic Blade Works, which is a remake, better. And there's a whole bunch of them now. But Fate Stay Zero, I think, is the best one by far. And that shit gets dark. The Expanse, awesome sci-fi show. Go out of their way to be extremely accurate. And you see Kyle Hill talk about it all the time. He even has little spaceship battles and stuff like that. They're amazing. And it starts off great, and then it gets better. And it has some amazing books as well. And I need to read through all those. Samurai Jack, nearly unseated Powerpuff Girls.
Interesting.
In terms of cartoons. Samurai Jack changed the way that I view cartoons could be, because I remember watching a whole bunch of documentaries behind it and how they drew it, and they didn't use outlines and all that stuff. In that one episode where he's fighting the other ninja robot, and he goes all white, and the other ninja robot is in the black, and then they're hiding in the light and shadow, and it's going back and forth, and that was a great fucking artistic episode. That show transcended into art for several episodes for me.
Yeah.
But at some point, it's just like, alright, dude, fucking kill Aku. Goddamn, how stupid are you? And Babylon 5. This is a show that I watched with my parents. It's from the same creator, Star Trek. Mm-hmm. My understanding is that he had a dream for the whole show. One night.
I heard about that.
Got up, wrote it, boom, there it is. It's really good. It's hard to explain. It's a huge universe inside of it. It's very well built. A lot of it relies on you picking up context clues, so they don't hold your hand. Which also happens in Star Trek. You just kind of like jump in, and stuff gets explained as you go along the way, but some stuff doesn't, and you just kind of gotta figure that shit out.
Right. And
it's an amazing world, amazing characters, amazing aliens. It's really good, and I enjoyed watching it with my folks growing up.
Right.
So yeah, those are my honorable mentions.
Alright, I got a few.
Yeah, just a few.
Yeah.
You coward.
First one is King of the Hill.
Yeah, we joke it's the best anime ever.
Right. It's a great show. I think that people underrated the shit out of it. I watched it constantly when I still lived at home, at my parents' house, with my own DVR in my room. I recorded some shows, but I only ended up ever watching just fucking King of the Hill on it.
That sounds about right.
So I've seen the entire show, not like front to back, but I've seen the entire show just randomly, right?
I remember back in the game with Suncoast Video, to let you know how old I am, that they didn't do the little bitty alarm boxes on everything, but they had it on every single King of the Hill, and we asked the dude, and he's like, yeah, that's the most stolen thing. Yeah, by far.
Makes sense to me. It's a great show. Very quotable, very good stuff.
Yeah.
Remember the characters, even people who don't fucking watch the show know the characters.
Which is impressive.
It's very cool.
But I have a grudge against that show, because Bobby Hill, and my name is Bobby, and fuck you if you try to make me talk like that.
Can you?
No.
You already talked about this one, Futurama. Great show. Right. Loved it. I got to the point where I was making this honorable mentions, and I was like, okay, he's going to have a bunch of these things on his. I'm not going to mention them. So Futurama is the only one that we share.
Fair enough.
Next one, Arrested Development. One of the best live-action comedies I've ever seen. At least the original seasons were. And they were great. They were fucking hilarious, especially on rewatch, because it's got call forwards in addition to callbacks. So many internal jokes throughout the entire thing that if you were to watch it week to week, I don't see how anybody would like it, which is why it didn't work on TV. Like, my mom watched it when it was on, and she just didn't get it. And I'm like, I watched it as an adult. I'm like, yeah, this is a show you need to binge. You can't just watch this every week.
I feel like Community falls underneath that same guy.
Community a little bit too, yeah.
Okay.
Next one, Gravity Falls. Amazing animated TV show on the Disney Channel. Not going to do much better on the Disney Channel than Gravity Falls. There's no bad episode. Even the pilot is really good.
Yeah, that's true.
2 seasons, everything is great.
extremely lovable characters. My favorite thing about it, though, is the opening song.
Yeah, Bobby can't play it on the piano because his fingers are too small.
Yeah. I can, it hurts.
Right.
I can barely stretch an octave, and I have to really stretch for it, and you have to play a full octave span in that a lot, and it hurts my fingers.
Right.
I have tiny gremlins.
Yes, he does. And the final honorable mention I have is Batman the Animated Series from the 90s.
See, I knew that one was going to be on your list.
Yeah.
I actually didn't watch that much of it.
Me neither. Not in the 90s.
That's fair. Okay.
What I did was... I've mentioned this before. If you watched our Arkham Asylum playthrough, I mentioned this then. I played Arkham Asylum before I was into Batman, and that is the thing that got me into Batman. Because I was like, this is incredible. All of these characters in this game specifically are great. Because, like, The Dark Knight I saw, and I was like, I'm not impressed by this. I mean, it's a good movie, but, like, whatever. I fell in love with the characters in Arkham Asylum. And then I went back and revisited the animated series because it was the same voice actors. And thus, almost the same characters. And it's real good.
Yeah.
I wouldn't put it on my top 5 because it's not a show that I can just sit down and watch all the way through. But I more appreciate how the actors encapsulated those characters and how it kind of grew, you know, because like Justice League and Justice League Unlimited and Batman Beyond and all that, it's all related. And it's impressive. And it's great. And Kevin Conroy is the one true Batman. So,
that's true. In all of our best Batman discussions, we have to go, besides Kevin Conroy,
right.
Obviously number 1, who's the... And we go on from
It's
that.
not even close.
Yeah, it's not. He is so far above.
Yeah. But yeah, that's all my honorable mentions. I probably forgot something important, but fuck it.
Yeah. Alright, should we do a too long didn't read bit? Just a very quick rundown that we just time skip to the end?
Sure.
Okay, so my name's Bobby. My top 5 are, number 5, Powerpuff Girls from the 90s. 4, Doctor Who, specifically the Revive series for the whole thing. 3, Justified. Don't care what you think, I love that show. 2, Avatar The Last Airbender. And number 1, Ghost in the Shell Standalone Complex.
Right. And my name's Kevondre. My top 5 is number 5, Parks and Recreation. Number 4, Veronica Mars. Number 3, Sense8. Number 2, Avatar The Last Airbender. And number 1, Breaking Bad. / I guess also Better Call Saul. And also, but
right.
If we're kind of doing it that way, I don't know. So
depends on how epic you are.
Yeah.
You know, just covering our bases.
So, alright guys, it's been fucking 47 minutes. And
which is way longer than we thought it would be.
I bitched and complained about the One Marvelous Scene video being a 5-minute video that took me hours to make, so this is going to be fun. Yeah. But it's going to be worth it for you, the viewer. So please watch this video, because I'm going to be sad if you don't.
Yeah.
Anyway. Alright guys, we'll see you later.
Thanks so much guys, bye.
Mark?